If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as crooked Joe Biden and the Biden administration has done.
Well, there are lots of questions of what a potential second Trump term could look like. Would he pardon January 6 rioters? Would he fill his administration with staunch loyalists? The former president sat down for a wide-ranging interview with Time magazine to preview what a return to the Oval Office could look like. National political reporter for Time magazine, Eric Cortellessa, joins us now. He conducted that interview with the former president, and a really fascinating read. You got, I think, what, about 80 minutes?
Somewhere between 80 to 90.
With the former president. I mean, just let us be a fly in the room on that wall. I mean, what was this conversation like during that 90 minutes?
Well, it was a serious conversation. I went into the interview with a plan of asking the president very precise, probing questions about what he would do if he became president again. And I really kept the focus there throughout the conversation. President Trump answered some questions quite candidly. Other questions he dodged. But it was a rigorous probing of, what Trump would do if he returned to power.
I mean, what were your key takeaways, and what does that second term look like?
I think President Trump is right now embarking on a plan to consolidate the power of government inside the office of the president. He wants to expand the power of the president. He feels like he was derailed by guardrails during the first term, and he wants to remove those as much as he can possible. He wants to make sure that people in key positions in the executive branch will serve his vision and not thwart his vision. He wants allies in Congress and Republican seats, and he wants to do as much as he can through executive authority rather than legislation.
And I want to talk to you more specifically about some of these key issues, for instance, immigration policy. Let's take a look at what he told you in terms of defending his position on mass deportations. He said, quote, "We have no choice. I don't believe this is sustainable for our country. What's happening to us with probably 15 million and maybe as many as 20 million by the time Biden's out. 20 million people, many of them from jails, many of them from prisons, many of them from mental institutions." I mean, what do you make of his comments there, and what is his vision when it comes to immigration policy?
I think he's going to be more aggressive than he was even in the first term. President Trump plans to come into office on day one and sign a slew of executive orders that would restore all of the policies he had on the first term on abortion. And he wants to take it even a step further. I grilled him specifically on his plans for a mass deportation operation, as he puts it, that would remove more than 11 million migrants from the country. He says he wants to rely on the National Guard to haul away undocumented migrants. He wants to induce local and state police departments by tying federal funding to their participation. And most strikingly, President Trump said to me that he would be willing to deploy the U.S. military inland in order to conduct this operation. When I said, President Trump, U.S. law prohibits the use of the military on civilians, he said he doesn't see undocumented migrants as civilians. He says they're invading the country. So I think he is planning to really take this issue full throttle if he becomes president again.
And then I know, your reporting has gotten a lot of attention for what the former president told you about the issue of abortion. He discussed monitoring pregnancies, saying, quote, "I think they might do that. Again, you'll have to speak to the individual states. Look, Roe versus Wade was all about bringing it back to the states." I mean, what else did he say on this matter? And do you feel his comments are being properly interpreted?
Well, not entirely. There are some who are not necessarily reflecting the way the president spoke to me about his plans. But, I asked him outright, Mr. President, you say this is an issue that should be left to the states. Are you comfortable with states prosecuting women who have gotten abortion after the ban? He told me it's irrelevant whether he's comfortable or not because he's going to let the states decide. I said, do you think states should be able to monitor women's pregnancies to know if they've gotten an abortion after the ban? He said they might do that. So President Trump's stance, and he understands it's a really delicate, precarious issue, and he's trying to thread a needle, but he's trying to really act like this is a states' rights issue, and that's the ground he's going to trod in the coming months.
All right, Eric Cortellessa, we really thank you so much for being with us here. And again, very interesting read.
Thank you.